Let's go.
You are about to experience the uncensored conversations, stimulating wit, and the thought-provoking wisdom. Bold, raw, and uncut. Right now, on the Lance Scurv Show.
Welcome to another episode of the Lance Scurv Show. I told you we will be back. A tongue twister right there. With Brother Jason, Wholistic Health Solutions, and more. This man is a treasure chest trove of information. I'm not souping him up. I'm not overstating it, but you know him from before. He's been a frequent visitor, and he is family to this channel. And he also has his own social media connects, and we will share those during the show and toward the end. We're just going to allow a few people to come in. The chat or the conference line is locked right now. It is not open. It will be opened. But we're going to have him flow and share some information that he understands is very important for us, because we're really blinded these days as to what we need to do to maintain our health, not just on a physical level, but a mental, physical, and spiritual level. Brother Jason, welcome back again. I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say. Talk to me, brother.
Peace, love, and light, Brother Lance. Thank you once again for having me here. Thanks to your listening audience. Just bringing more holistic solutions to the people. A lot of things have been happening in terms of health and wellness to us on many levels. And we're going to be shedding some lights on major issues happening in the day and night. What are you eating? What's eating you? Vaccine nation. How to not to become a part of that. We're going to deal with the mothers and the womb. Everything from touching on some issues dealing with pregnancy, womb health, fibroids, tumors, endometriosis, cysts, infertility. For the men, we're going to deal with the prostate. We had an incredible show last week dealing with man and manhood, and we want to follow up with how to be a healthy man in terms of health and wellness, and so much more based on the audience's input and special questions as well. So we'll be touching on a couple of those things tonight. First and foremost, I am Jason, Minister of Holistic Health and Wellness, through thirdeyevisionsunlimited.com. The website is spelled the number 3RDEYE, visions with an S, unlimited.com, where we help you experience the unlimited you. And we'll be having that posted in the chat room or online at some point as well. You can like, follow, and share us at Facebook, thirdeyevisionsunlimited.com, Instagram, thirdeyevisionsunlimited.com, and our YouTube channel, thirdeyevisionsunlimited.com. Our number is 615-604-4074, and we'd like to first put our disclaimer out there that we're not a medical doctor. We don't prescribe medicine, no drugs. We help you come back in tune with nature's law and nature's God and how to live according to what nature prescribed. The herbs are for the healing of the nation. Let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food, so you can experience the unlimited you. So I'm blessed to be back.
Wow. I thought I could talk. Well, you wanted to start at the top, and I know once you get down to each particular slice of subjects, you're going to go in with surgical precision. And from what and I know you just shared a whole lot, but what is the most important thing right now that you see that we need to know or we need to do? Because we know in this society that many of us really are off, and how we maintain ourselves. We're really off. And I know it makes you cringe. And we're not saying this in a condescending way, like we're better than anybody, but you are a healer. You are you're a person who likes to help. And I know you wish you can help a lot of these individuals who are misled, misinformed, and just ignorant as to how we need to maintain ourselves. What is one thing that you can suggest before you get on the other topics? One thing that a person can do, simple, that would change their level of health?
Great question. Thank you for that segue. The first and foremost topic I would address is the consumption of dead animal flesh. If there's one thing that you want to challenge first and foremost in your life in terms of health, is the fact that you're using your body as a graveyard. Why would you bury dead things in your body and expect to have life? So a lot of people unknowingly, whether it's been passed down generationally. We hear about this generational curse. Well, unfortunately, one of the biggest generational curses that we are experiencing is bad eating habits or bad programming or bad education. And we then perpetuate that going forward. So by not putting dead, rotting flesh inside your body, that's going to immediately start to promote life from within. You're going to not end up with a acidic system. When flesh breaks down in the body, it produces uric acid, for those that's not aware. And when your body eliminates the different acids, especially uric acid, the process is called urination. The uri in urine is from uric in terms of the acid. And so when you're very acidic, your urine will have a very high odor, and it will be more of a yellowish brown color versus a more clear to slightly tinged color, like a very light color. It should be mostly clear. When you're drinking the right amount of water, you're eating the right foods, alkaline foods, and so forth, your urine is not going to have a very bright color. It's going to be more transparent, and it won't have any high odor. That uric acid carries with it a very high odor. So I'm aware of people out there with urine that looks almost like Coke, as in Coca-Cola.
That's frightening.
Man, I was talk about frightening. I'm telling you. And they should be frightened too, because if you have that colored urine, imagine what inside of your kidney and your liver looks like, which are your filtering organs. So by eliminating the consumption of animal flesh, which we have been programmed to think is required for life. You know how many times I've gotten the question, where'd you get your protein? That's a favorite question I've been getting all this time. I tell them the only proteins I know are people like Kevin Garnett. There's a lot of people that went pro as teens, King James. Those are the proteins that you really need to be concerned with. As far as your food is made up of building blocks that they call amino acids, and they're in everything, folks. Yes, you can find them in everything. So the question I would ask you, if you're concerned about where to get your proteins, name the 6 biggest animals on land. The images that come to mind are like the giraffe. Mm-hmm. How about an elephant? How about a rhino? How about a diamondback gorilla? The character they made King Kong movie off of?
Yes.
How about stallions? A lot of men want to be like a stallion. Some horses are so big, you need a ladder to get on top. Well, guess what? None of those animals eat animal flesh. They don't eat chicken breasts. They don't blend egg whites in the morning. They don't do any of these things that they're telling you to do to build protein. So how are they bringing protein? They're all actual vegetarians. They eat vegetation. Okay, so imagine a stallion, powerful horse, muscle everywhere, ripped. He doesn't eat steak, no chicken breasts, no egg whites. He doesn't eat oysters and clams and mussels and all these other things they're telling you need to eat in order to go to the gym to be ripped. A rhino, you don't want to run into a rhino. Oh no. Matter of fact, they had a whole line of athletic gear back in the day called rhino equipment. They had a line of gyms called rhino gyms. How many of you are familiar with that? Yes. They had, workout gear. So the idea of how powerful a rhino is, well, a rhino is a vegetarian. It eats fruits and vegetables. I mean, in the movie that we just saw, the Black Panther, one of the tribes rode nothing but rhinos. You remember that tribe in the movie? That's his good friend that kind of went against him at the end when he couldn't bring home the killer for his dad. That whole tribe ride rhinos, and you can see in the movie they were feeding the rhinos these big melons. Okay? So those big, powerful rhinos did not eat animal flesh to become that powerful. So this is a myth that we have been taught about how we have to eat other animals to get big muscles and all that stuff. No. Matter of fact, there are athletes out there that involved in athletics that you may be familiar with, but did not know that when they made the transition or the change behind the scenes, they actually got better performance numbers. For example, most of you may be familiar with the great track and field star Carl Lewis. Yes. Multiple Olympic gold medal winner. Well, his last Olympics, when he switched and became a so-called vegan, a plant-based eater, all his numbers improved. Wow. All of his numbers went up in the last Olympics. That he once he made that change, all his numbers in in track and field, he did the shot put, long jump. I think he did a whole bunch of different activities when he stopped eating animal flesh. Okay. And he's competing at the highest level, the Olympics. And he's showing you that I don't even need to eat animals to do very well and still be top of my class and top of my game in the Olympics. Went up. So just that's one of the first thing I would say everyone needs to make a very important goal in their life, to stop consuming animal products. Now, how does that affect you in the greater society? Because we deal with mind, body, and spirit holistic education here at Third Eye Visions Unlimited. The number one way that will also start to impact the environment is that most of the food today is being grown to feed animals. I don't know how many you're aware of that, but most of the corn, the beans, the peas and everything, the soy, there's huge farms around the world where they're actually growing food, not to feed people, but to feed animals. That has totally shifted our agricultural spectrum. Couple that with the massive amount of waste that's left over from these pig farms, cow farms, chicken houses. Huge amounts of toxic waste and feces are now making it into our water supply and into our environment as a result of a plant-based, animal-based consumption society. So it's not just you putting bad things inside of you. We're advancing the negative effects upon the environment and our ecology. Okay? So that's one of the reasons why you want to make that one of your number one task in life, is to shift from an animal-based diet or lifestyle to a plant-based lifestyle. I prefer the word, we have a live it, not a diet here at Third Eye Vision, because we want to promote living it and livity, right? Not diet and dying. So we use the positive word phrases, positive word powers and sound. So that is something that you want to work on right away. Now, to help you transition in that, we offer holistic services. We offer life coaching services, and we also offer one of the best all herbal cleanse kits on the market. Our full body cleanse kit is one of the best things you can purchase to help cleanse the body from all the negative things you've been doing, whether knowingly or unknowingly, so you can then transition to a cleaner lifestyle. Okay?
That was a thorough answer. It's like I push a button on you and the answers just come right out, brother. You're really sharp, and I have to say that you live it. You are the epitome of what you speak on. You're not just a person who speaks about it, and I catch you around the corner at the barbecue spot, woofing down some ribs or whatever. You're living it, and you look very well. You're very healthy. Your eyes, your teeth, your skin. This is what we are supposed to do. And I'm going to say that what you are is not abnormal. And I'm not saying you're normal to downplay it, but what you are, we all should be. We shouldn't be in that sickened state. It is not normal to be sick. I want you to speak about that, because many people think that they say, oh, you're eating that health food. No, that's the food that you're supposed to eat. In other words, they're admitting that they're eating death food. And again, we're not speaking on a condescending level. No. We're just cutting through the chase, and we really have some decisions to make, people, because I have to say that within the last 3 weeks, or actually 2 weeks, I lost 3 acquaintances. I would say one is kind of a friend, but we haven't, we never talked in years. Nothing bad, just life took over. But 2 other people that we know in my age group, and whether we were close or not, it hits home that that's part of your world, the mosaic of your world. And one of the best things you can do for your loved ones is to take care of yourself, because we have so many people who are in the hospitals, and then you got to go visit them, and they're pumping them up for the drugs, all of this stuff. And they're not trying to cure you. They're trying to hide the symptoms and keep you alive just enough to get more money out of you through your insurance and sell your drugs. What Jason has to offer here is preventative. And that's as far correct. As, give me a little word on that line. I'm segueing you in pretty good tonight. Oh, before you say that, oh yeah, somebody asked for the phone number and website again. I'm going to have you do that just frequently, and we're going to have it down in the description area below. And like That's I said, I've purchased products from you, and they work. And you're here in my home with me. Trust me, you wouldn't be here if you weren't the real thing, because I totally honor and respect everything you do for our community and our people. Go ahead, brother.
Thank you very much for that. And once again, blessed to be here. Yes, once again, the website is Third Eye Visions Unlimited, and that's spelled with the 3RD for third, EYE for your eye, visions with an S, unlimited.com. That's our website. Our number is 615-604-5454. 4074. That's where we share the holistic ministry with the world, because this is serious work, and we're definitely about the work and getting people to understand where you are, who you are, why you are, and how to go about being what you need to be. We're also on social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, and a YouTube channel under the same name, Third Eye Visions Unlimited. And you can also, when you get to the website, the quick icons are at the bottom of the first page. So you can land on our main website and then quickly go to one of the 3 social media sites if you like. So we offer holistic solutions from information, first and foremost, like I'm sharing with you right now. You can also benefit from personal consultations. Whether you're a couple that's trying to get pregnant, we help with fertility problems, because a lot of people don't realize your diet and the chemicals you're using can actually impede you from becoming pregnant. Where you're a woman, or in terms of a man, you can lower your sperm count by not knowing what to eat, how to eat, or even the clothes you're wearing. Did you know that the type of underwear you wear can affect your sperm count as a man?
Never knew that.
Right. As a woman, did you know that the type of underwears you wear can determine whether or not you have more yeast infections?
Wow.
Didn't realize that. So even the clothing you're wearing, how tight they are, the fabrics they're made from, can affect your health. These are the kinds of third eye opening information we share through our ministry. So it's not just your diet, it's the chemicals you're putting on. Did you know that your cologne or your perfume can make you sick? Do you know if you swallowed a teaspoon of perfume, they would have to rush you to the hospital and maybe pump your belly? Well, think of how much you spray on in a year. Lots of teaspoons. So these are the third eye opening questions we're asking. So you become aware of all the things you're doing knowingly, and in a lot of cases unknowingly, ignorantly, which are detrimental to your health. So we have natural herbs for every situation, every issue, from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet. Whether it be a vision problem, whether it be glaucoma, stigmatism, whether it be goiter, whether it be a thyroid issue, skin, a gum or tooth problem, whether you have varicose veins, you have arthritis, lumbago, whether you have skin problems, psoriasis or lupus, whether you're having a kidney, a liver, a spleen, a colon problem, we have a natural solution that, guess what? The Creator put here. We didn't make it up. The herbs are for the healing of the nation. All we're doing is pointing you in the right way. I can't take credit. I'm not a healer. I don't heal you. I simply point you in the right direction like a sign on the interstate, and you have to determine when you're going to exit a bad way of living. You have to determine when you're going to exit negative habits that's passed down from generational, so you can be the one who breaks that generational curse. Yes, we love Aunt Mary's, triple sugar sweet potato pie. But guess what? Aunt Mary had her foot cut off last month from diabetes. And if you do not stop engaging in that same type of eating, that type of diet, you too may have to have a body part amputated due to what they call sugar diabetes. So not everything we're doing is beneficial. We have to stop the things that are detrimental and multiply the things that are beneficial. And especially to the younger generation, give them the best so they can move forward. All right. So that's the way we address issues like diabetes, like vision problems. Like right now, one of the biggest companies that's popping up in our neighborhoods across the world is called DaVita Dialysis. They're popping up in plazas all over the place because even though they say that, melanated people make up 17% or 15% of the population, we make up about 70% of everyone on dialysis. Now let those numbers sink in. How can you be 13 to 15% of a population, but you account for 70 to 75% of everyone on a dialysis machine? So we have a lot of work to do to reverse that.
Something definitely wrong with that. Oh, man.
That's right. The numbers are scary. I'm telling you. And that's why we stay true. We are letting you know at the end of the day, have no fear. Solutions are here. Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Then yes, Third Eye Visions Unlimited has a solution for you. You can log on to thirdeyevisionsunlimited.com, to our Facebook channel, YouTube channel, and our Instagram page, all under thirdeyevisionsunlimited.com. You can sign up for consultations. You can book me to come and speak at your event, or we can co-create an event. You can sign up for products. We ship anywhere in the world as long as you have a way of getting products to you, whether UPS, FedEx, or USPS. We can get you the solutions.
And you can sign up here and do live streams on my Vimeo channel where when you sign up, only you can, privately with a group or a single person.
That's right.
I have that capability. Hey, if somebody's on the other side of the world, brother, you're always welcome here. I ain't charging you nothing. You do your thing and help the people.
That's right. And it's great to have Brother Lance Scurv have this incredible platform and make it available to help uplift fallen humanity, first starting with each person one at a time, because that's what we're doing. Each one of us is a part of a puzzle. So when we bring our pieces together, our gifts, our wonderful gifts and solutions together, after you start getting so many pieces of the puzzle together is when you finally start figuring out what the puzzle is showing you all along. You will never be able to see what the final puzzle looks like until you put the pieces together. Unlike the puzzles you buy at the store, where they already show you what it's supposed to look like at the end, in life, you don't already know what it's going to look like at the end. You just start bringing things together, and eventually you get there. So each one of us came with a purpose. Now, to the question you asked earlier, a lot of people may not know that when you came here as a spirit being. Energy, mental energy and spiritual energy, and you put on a physical body that's sewn for you based on nature's specifications. Think of your DNA as the dimensions to a house. It told you how big the house was going to be, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, how high the ceiling was going to be. That's the physical dimensions of the house, this earth suit. It's an outfit sewn to you by Mother Nature based on the elements of this planet. However, you are a divine spirit being having an earthly experience. You signed a lease, a contractual agreement with Mother Earth to put on this earth suit. Now, how did you get this earth suit? You got it nice, plump, and soft, like they say, as smooth as a baby's butt. And how do you think you're supposed to give it back when you check out? Because really, there's no death. The divine spiritual energy that is you just travels from one dimension to next and just changes worlds. So how are you supposed to give this back when you give it back? You're supposed to give it back the same way you receive it. Otherwise, like any other lease or any other contractual agreement, you get punished with fines and fees. If you rented an apartment and you didn't turn it back in the way you got it, you may lose your deposit. You may even end up with some extra fees on top. So the same thing happens to you. When you do not take care of this earth suit, based on the contract you have with Mother Nature, you get punished all along the way. That punishment shows up in the form of what? Pain, suffering, diseases, lack of energy, all the other myriads of ways in which your energy gets robbed, till eventually, if you don't correct the problem, what does the landlord do? They evict you. The eviction is what we're calling death. That's when you get thrown out of the body. And the body gets reconstituted and put back into the greater earth to be used again for somebody else. Just like a landlord throwing you out of the apartment, and now he has to gut it, break it down, and fix all the damages you did just so he can put it back on the market for somebody else to rent. Does that make sense? So that's one of our metaphysical lessons, is teaching you, educating you, that you are a divine being having an earthly experience. That's why we say third eye visions unlimited, because we want to help you open up your third eye so you can see the unlimited visions of yourself. So hopefully that resonate with somebody out there. You can learn more about all the different individual herbs and solutions at the website. We have a fully searchable website that provides all the resources. There's a search area in the upper right. You can type in an item if you know already what item you're looking for, or you can search by categories. You can put in pain, and all of the natural solutions for pain will come up. You can put in pregnancy or testosterone or whatever. If you have a vision problem, and the products will come up that way. And you can always call if you need assistance selecting what solutions are best for you, and we'll assist you in getting what you need.
I just dropped his website into the chat room, so grab it there, and later on I'll put everything in the description area of this particular live stream and eventual video. I saw a couple of questions out there. Just want to say hold tight. We're going to open up the lines after Josh's son feels the need to open them. But he's going to continue to drop a little knowledge on you. But I fully encourage you to explore his website. And the fact that it's not just that he sells a couple of things to make you feel better. No. He deals with you on a mental, spiritual, and physical level, whatever your needs are. And also being a counselor. And I'd like for you to speak about that.
Oh, great. Thank you for, once again, sharing the site and for leading in with another beautiful, very important question. I've counseled many of men, women, and couples. We have individual consultations for Know Thyself consultations, where we will help assist you in a lot of the metaphysical and spiritual information that's been removed from the, what we would say, curriculum or curriculum system. You know, they have a public fool system, and boy, if you follow it to the T, you're going to become a public fool. It's designed to make you a public fool. System, the education's been dumbed down severely over the last 80 years.
Tell me about it.
You know, if you watch movies like The Great Debaters, you'll see how the type of education we used to have. Now, you know, people go to school, get a bunch of degrees, and still have absolutely no clue what's happening out here in the world. So you can tell it's not the same.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So we offer consultations for individuals who want to know, first starting off with your numerology. Do you realize how important your date of birth is, or date of solar return? Because, you know, your mother did the birth and you just came out on Earth. So that's why we call it your Earth Day or your solar return, because your mother is really doing the birth. A lot of people don't know. When my Earth Day comes around, I call my mom and I give her a special tribute, because that day she became a mother. That's also Mother's Day, by the way. So Mother's Day is not May, 12th or whatever date they make together. That's more of a shopping day for the malls and the shopping centers. The day your mother gave birth to you is Mother's Day. And in traditional indigenous culture, usually the son or daughter would actually put on a party or do something very significant for their mother on that day, thanking her for being a stargate and allowing you to come through her to this realm. So this is also part of the tradition that I want to put back out there for us to start implementing. You're supposed to actually wish your mother happy Mother's Day on your solar return. And in my case, I'm my mother's firstborn. So actually she became a mother, quote unquote, officially with me. She became a mother several times later. I have 3 other siblings. But that's how traditionally it would be done. And whatever skill that you do in your life, you would pay tribute to your mom. So let's say you were a seamstress. On that day, you would sew her a special outfit. If you're a farmer, on that day, you would pick her a special basket of your best foods that you had in the field, and you bring it to her. If you were a musician, you'd write her a special song. If you're a poet, you'd make a special poem. Whatever you do, you would honor your mom on that day. That's her Mother's Day, and that's your Earth Day. So I just want to throw that in. Those are the type of things that come up in consultations.
That's a special thing. I just want to give a big shout out to David in the Cut. Today's his birthday.
That's right.
Today's his birthday. Happy birthday, brother.
That's right. You. And make sure you call your mom, David, and give her a special Mother's Day. Thank you.
Also, while we chop it up, I want to get a roll call here. Where is everybody from? And for those who are new and for those who are old, how did you find the Lance Scurv Show? As we talk and we speak with Brother Jason, get a roll call where you're from: China, Tuscaloosa, Czechoslovakia, Antarctica, wherever you're from, around the corner, around the way, doesn't matter. I'm glad you all are here, right? But everybody wish David in the Cut a happy birthday. As a warm-up to my April 8th birthday when I turned 56. Anyway, shameless plug, right? We'll have a birthday show that day. Anyway, wow, it's just so vast. Could you tell us the correlation between food, how we feel, and our relationships with our mates, with our friends, with our coworkers? Can food make a difference? The difference of what we take in our bodies by the way we feel and how we interact with each other?
Yes, definitely does. And I'm going to before I get to that part, let me just finish the last statement.
No problem.
The consultations we offer also include couples who are trying to get pregnant or are already pregnant. We offer a natural mothers-to-be kit, natural herbal way of nourishing the body, the womb, making sure she has enough breast milk, and also that serves as a prenatal, or what they call a multivitamin. That's crucial because a lot of couples are struggling with that. We also assist you in finding doulas or midwives if you want a natural birth or a birth center. So you can have a water birth or stand-up shower birth or kneeling birth or all these other options that most people are not aware of. If you want to be assisted in creating a birth plan, spiritual birth plan that will protect you also from certain chemicals being exposed to in the birthing process, or your baby not having to be vaccinated and other things like that to protect them from the chemical warfare that's going on. Those are all available at the website, thirdeyevisionsunlimited.com, under Light Your Fire tab. All the consultations are there. And we also offer holistic parenting guide consultations. Now, to the question about how does food affect you and how does it affect you in terms of relationship as well? Powerful question. If you do not have love within, can you give love to someone else?
No way.
You know, there's a simple, powerful statement. You can only give what you got. If I didn't have $10, can I give you $10?
You can give me $9.99, right? If you had 10.
There we go. There we go. So I like to make things simple. You see how simple it is? This is why we fundamentals. We keep it fundamental and make it fun. So you can only give what you have. So when you work on yourself and bring yourself to your highest level at whatever time you're on, because you're always growing and improving, that's what you're going to give. In a relationship, if you haven't healed a lot of the wounds and the pain and the anger, and you haven't worked on the emotional baggage, spiritual and psycho-spiritual baggage, if you haven't worked on your physical baggage, okay, so it means your chemicals are off, your colon's clogged. I don't know how happy you're going to be if you haven't had a bowel movement all day. You see? So a lot of us are full of S, and we just need to clean that out so we can have a much better relationship, not only within ourselves, but now with our mates when we get home or when we meet up. So this is why we talk about changing your diet is going to change the way you feel about yourself inside. That is the most important side, the inside. I'm going to give you a little third eye visions unlimited test. And I want people to type this in the chat room or when they call in. Can you tell me how many sides a coin has? That's our third eye visions unlimited trivia question for tonight. How many sides does a coin have? Just visualize a quarter or a nickel or a penny, any coin. How many sides? We're going to be checking on that answer later on. So you can type that in if you're in the chat room, or if you eventually call in, you can try to give it to me when you call in. So we're going to work from the inside. Most people are familiar with understanding a topic. They may have even heard the term overstanding, but most people have never heard of understanding. My job has been popularizing that word for over 25 years, coming to an understanding. So you start off underneath a topic. The topic's a little bit above your head. You're maybe not fully grasping it. And then you get to a point where you overstand it. Now I overstand it. I've studied it long enough. I get it. And then you want to incorporate it into your life, your very being. At that point, you've understand it. Because only when you take knowledge and multiply it by action do you gain the wisdom. That's our sacred formula. K times A equals W. Knowledge times action equals wisdom. So when you take an inner stand, you now are firm, you're rooted, you're centralized, you're at the core of it all. You've taken an inner stand. It's now very hard to move you and push you around. And that's where we want to get to with ourselves, so that when we bring ourselves together now with someone else in a relationship, it could be business arrangement. You don't have to be intimate. A lot of times our business opportunities don't work out for us. You know why? People are coming with all kinds of crazy energy. We can't even do business and have it just flow harmoniously because they got all kinds of turmoil going on within themselves. So even when you're trying to sign to do just commerce, you realize things are just all over the place. And so we have to bring our best selves to the table in whatever we do. That should be the goal. Yes, we're all a work in progress. No one is perfect. There are no perfect people here. The minute you get to perfect your journey here, guess what's going to happen? You're going to check out of your earth suit and you're going to move on to the next level of the university. Because life, universe, city, earth campus. Life is this big universe, and you're just one on one of the city campuses we call an earth right now. This is one of the many campuses. We're all transfer students. We transfer it in, and when you're done, you're going to transfer out. Okay? So we want to also share that kind of metaphysical third eye visions, unlimited wisdom with you. Relationships are also affected by the chemicals that you use. So like I mentioned earlier, if you're putting on toxic deodorant, do you know why they call it deodorant? Because the odor is ranting. Ranting means loud noise or to make a rant. Rant and rave, jump up and wave. Some people familiar with that song. So when you're ranting, that's a loud sound. So it's saying your odor is what? Loud. So what do? They come up with something called deodorant to deal with the ranting odor. However, if you do not consume dead, rotting flesh, guess what happens, folks, when you stop eating all animal products? Your body odor automatically improves. Automatically. It's shocking. You may not even need all of those fancy sprays and those air fresheners in your toilet, in your bathroom anymore, because you won't have this ranting odor coming out of you. Okay? So this is very important. Why is this important? Because when you get intimate with somebody, you're sharing all of these chemicals and you're sharing all of this odor and you're sharing fluids together. So you want to bring your best self to the table. The healthier you are, you're also going to have a more holistic, loving, intimate relationship with your partner. So it's not just the attitude's going to change because you now have regular bowel movements and you're not constipated. You're going to smell better. You're going to taste better. You're going to be better at everything you do. You're going to have more energy. You're going to lose all the waste. Most people who take our full body cleanse kit lose anywhere from 10 to 30 pounds in 30 days from just the waste they've accumulated in their body that's not been broken down. So the body had to take it and store it in all kinds of colons, in fat pockets and everything, because that was not really food. It was junk. And so the body had to create a trash bag, because that's where you store junk, in trash bags. So the body creates a trash bag. Sometimes that trash bag is called a tumor. Other time it's called a cyst. Other time it's called, whatever, a goiter. It's called all kinds of names depending on where it is. It's just different trash bags. So the way to improve our relationship is first starting with ourselves, cleaning up yourselves, making it important to clean up your family. If you have a boy, a son or daughter, if you have elderly people that you're taking care of, now you're responsible for not just yourself, but feeding your whole family live, fresh fruits, vegetables, alkaline water, and then taking a seminar or a workshop with Brother Jason of Third Eye Visioning to learn how to change the other things in your life and to assist you so you can have wonderful, holistic relationships. Okay?
Wow, completely thorough in your answer. I'm really, look, I go through your website. I talk to you all the time. I pick your brain. I try these trick questions, but, I know you can answer them. I know you can, not trick questions, but I have a little bit of knowledge from catching the crumbs of what you've shared. So, I can kind of wheel those things around. Wow. Me observing nature. One thing I've learned just by observing nature, not man's false, synthetically created world, but nature in its perfect balance. And that's the one thing I've learned about nature, is that it's balanced. And I learned a lesson from that, meaning that I have to keep my life balanced mentally, physically, and spiritually. Many people are not aware that they are off balance. What could one do as a practice to see how far off they are and to know that they need to bring themselves in balance? They speak about meditation, and might there be other things that one can do on top of meditation? But how can one be aware that they're off when they're not even aware that they are off? And what could they do to realize that they are, and what can be done to bring them back into a basic balance before they even begin the other practices?
Great question. Wonderful. This is where the power of consultations come in, because a lot of times you maybe not be aware, like you said, of the things you're missing until you do a holistic consultation with someone who can analyze you using different methods. We not only talk about meditation. A physical test could be do a pH test. You can test your urine, pee in a cup, test your saliva. This is a physical example I'm giving now of something you can do to see if your pH is off, because that's something you can really test with pH strips. This is actually very easy. You can do these at home. You can acquire these in different health food stores. And you pee in a cup or a glass, and then you test it. Some you put under the tongue, they deal with the saliva. That's a simple way you can tell if your body's alkaline. Okay? And if you're not, then you already know you're doing something wrong. If you're eating any of the things I just mentioned, if you're eating animal fish, dairy, yogurts, processed foods, sugars, white flour, white table salt, any of these things right off the bat, just listening to me right here and tuning in, you need to cleanse. You're off balance. Those things are designed to throw you off balance because they're not from nature, like Brother Lance just mentioned. Okay, they've been denatured. They've been stripped of their vital mineral and their vital energy. Their vitality is the word they use. They have no more vitality. Okay, and so that's why you consume those. You also lose your vitality, and we want you to be vital. So you'll have livity. What we say, we have a live it, not a diet. So that's one of the ways you'll know right off the bat. Meditation is beautiful because that helps what? Connect you to the energetic world around you, because everything is frequency. You should think of the world as frequency. Frequency is everything, and everything is frequency. So think of it energetically. Think of transmission of information on an energetic level. Okay? That's how I would say you want to start off basic. But the consultations, by seeking information from those who are in tune and approaching it from a holistic standpoint, because I don't want to just say get any kind of consultation. You want to get a consultation that deals around nature's law and about the universal principles. That's the key. That could take its way in the form of numerology, a pure science. It could take in the form of actual other systematic scientific readings like a I Ching or the Mayan Olmec oracle systems. You have the Chinese astrology. You have Vedic sidereal astrology. You want to actually seek information that's scientifically based and have been used for thousands, if not millions of years based on the information they're revealing now on the planet. That's the way you want to go. So you have something that has a proven track record, not the Johnny come lately, sleight of hand games they're playing with people. But that you also want to just connect with nature itself. I'm talking walking barefoot on the grass, going to the beach, the waterfalls, to the mountains, to the lakes. That's another way of finding out more about yourself, because now you're connected to the actual source of the outfit you wear that you're calling a body. So hopefully that adds another dimension on there for you.
Excellent, excellent. We have people out here who, like you said, the school system in the present time, especially the public school system, and most places where you learn, to me, when I look back, I had this thought the other day where I said, that they purposely did not tell us the proper way to eat, the proper foods to eat. It was a setup for us to be sick later on in life because we're consuming these things that, we think are food. Most people accept fast food as food. They just say, as fast food. It may not be bad for you, but I'll get away with it for a little while. I could always do something really quick and get well again. It doesn't work that way, and we understand that, but we just put that off until we get bad news from the doctor that we're out of balance. And like you said, that garbage bag called a tumor or a cyst or something or major malfunction. Mm-hmm. I heard a young boy actually. Well, it was a kid, and he was very young, very single-digit ages, and he kept hitting his mother on a leg because this was in the supermarket, and there were these sugary fruit-flavored drinks, the kind that you see with 5 and 10% real fruit juice. Like that's going to make a big difference, right? So that being said, she grabbed some real juice, what they say is real juice, but I believe is enzymatically dead from sitting in the package. And I know you understand that language, but he kept tapping the mother saying, "No, mommy, I want that juice." And the juice he was pointing to was a sugary concoction that had a very colorful package, but it probably had 5% real fruit juice that was enzymatically dead inside of it. What could we do to get people to know the difference between this GMO fake food and real food? Tell the difference between what real food does to the body. And it seems like a simple question, but most people don't know. What does real food do for you?
That's right.
What does the fake food do for you? Or the morphed food that has a combination of the real with or is compromised with fake stuff, salt, sugar, oils, fried stuff that make us eat more of this dead food. What's the difference? How do we come out of this fog, man, and to know what's real?
Wonderful, wonderful question. And I get that often. And here's the question I'm going to ask just to bring it to the point. Most people don't know what is food. We always start from the foundation. A home is only as powerful as the foundation. So what is food? Let's address that, because most people have been brainwashed or miseducated with this term fast food. Now, there is no such thing as fast food the way they're selling it to you. I know they're trying to say it's faster because you came to a drive-thru or no, that's junk. Junk food, by the way, is an oxymoronic term. You can't be junk and food at the same time. You're either junk or you're food. There is no such thing as junk food. Fast food is like a cheetah running at 70 miles an hour and you're trying to chase it. That's fast food. Okay? That's the definition of fast food. And if it's that fast, guess what? Nature is telling you need to leave it alone. The things you're intended to eat actually stand there waiting for you. Have you ever had to chase a mango? No. See?
Wow.
There's no such thing as fast food when humans are concerned. If you have to chase it down on a Jeep and shoot at it, it's not your food. Leave it alone. Okay? So I'm here to rewire the way you think of things, the words you were given. Fast food is like a cheetah chasing another animal, and he's fast. He's designed fast enough to chase it down and grab it. That's his food.
You never cease to amaze me with your answers, man. I'm just hurling these questions at you, man. And you just come up with it, man.
Yeah. I mean, we just let it do what it do. Like Ray Charles said, let it do what it do. So there is no such thing as fast food in that sense. Food has been taken careful timing by Mother Earth. Mother Nature is very precise. She's ma'atamatical. Ma'atamatical means moving in precision, grace, balance, and reciprocity. Nature doesn't force ripe a mango for you. Let me say that again. Nature will not force ripe a mango for you. It will give it to you in what? In due season. Due season. So we have to learn to come back in tune with nature. We want everything in a hurry. You see, we want it in a hurry, and we become what they call a microwave society where everything has to be less than 4 minutes, 3 minutes and 57 seconds. Now, let that number sink in, because there's another powerful weapon in the world called a 357. So if you always want things in 357s, yeah, you're going to have to, it's not going to make your day. There's another guy who runs around with a 357 talking about make my day. So I'm connecting the dots for you here.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If he runs up on me, he's got a big surprise coming, and this is exactly how he's going to feel.
That's right. So the food is that which nourishes the body. That's which replaces the elements in their right order and construct. The way Mother Nature, which is automatically performing things, works. Anything that does not resuscitate, rejuvenate, does not repair you is not food. If it doesn't leave you better off after you pull away from the table, then it wasn't food. Always contract with life. There's a saying I've been saying for many years now. Always when you sit down to sign a contract at the table, make sure you walk away a beneficial interest owner. Make sure you walk away a beneficial interest owner. So if you're sitting down to sign a contract with something they call a steak and a blooming onion, I know you're going to walk away a loser from that deal. When you get up, you will not be better off than when you sat down. So when you engage in something that you walk away a beneficial owner, beneficial participator, that's food. If I eat an apple, the apple didn't make me worse off. What they've done also, since people are gravitating back to natural foods, they've created something in a scientific lab called genetically modified foods. Some of you may have heard this. They call them GMO, because GMO, you're the G, you're the great I am, right? And they wanted to put a MO behind it. GMO. So they have a different modus operandi for the G's. So they want to remove the G, the God energy, that energy that we call Shechem, Prana, Chi. Some people call it organ energy. They want to remove that. They want to modify that. So it's a GMO. A lot of things in this world today are genetically modified. They're at the genetic level. So even they have a tomato with a salmon gene in it. So that way, why? Because they realize salmons don't freeze in Arctic weather. They swim around in Alaska in water that's literally colder than freezing, but because the water is moving, that's the only reason it's not frozen. And so the salmon has a gene that allows it to live in extreme cold weather. And what they did, they went into the laboratory and extracted that gene and stick it in a tomato. So now they can grow tomatoes in snow, and the tomato won't get frostbite. So they can grow it in colder, wet areas, and it can withstand more frost, so they can lose less profit. That's what they care about. But guess what? When you eat this tomato, it messes with you because it's been altered at the genetic level. That's just to give you an idea of what we're dealing with today when we talk about food. So food education is very important to our ministry at Third Eye Visions Unlimited. And this is one of the things we educate people on is what is food, what's not food. We offer a special solution for this called shopping cart analysis. It's actually on our website. You can email us a list of everything you shop for at the grocery store, as well as all the foods you eat out, because a lot of people now don't cook at home. They eat out. And what we'll do is we'll analyze that list and we'll send it back to you based on the issues you're dealing with, if you have medical issues, or if you have a goal you're trying to attain. And we'll give you healthy alternatives. That's called a shopping cart analysis. You can purchase that at the website. So that is how we help people find out what's food and why it's also important to start growing your own food or supporting a local farmer. We're big on that. Support local wherever you can. Back in the day, everyone had a garden in their front yard or the side yard, or some people had multiple gardens on different sides of their property. We need to get back to that. Not only growing some foods at home, So what does that do? It does many things. One, it's immediately going to reduce your grocery bill. Two, it's going to reconnect you or connect you back to nature. When you put your hand in dirt, when you connect back to plants, trees, you are physically connecting back to the electromagnetic energy of the planet, and that automatically starts to balance you, to harmonize you. So reaching down and touching the soil, touching the grass, the trees, the dirt, literally rebalances your chakra. It helps to cleanse your aura. It helps to repair holes in your auric field, in your magnetic field. I know people think that, you may think that's far out, but no, nature intended for you to constantly engage nature to be well. That's why you have to have outdoor time. You cannot be healthy in a building with fake lights. You have to have sunshine, fresh air, water, and physically interacting with the earth. That's walking barefoot, what they are now trying to sell you as grounding. You remember there was a time they made fun of people who were walking around barefoot? Now they have highly expensive retreats where you go to learn grounding techniques. Can you imagine that? People now selling you barefoot technology when they used to make fun of barefoot people running around all over the planet. Isn't that crazy? I grew up walking around barefoot. I come out from home. We took our shoes off. We couldn't wait to run around on the grass. We couldn't wait to run around in the dirt. We played marbles in the dirt, sweep it clean, put the circle. We grew up grounded. We walked in the riverbeds barefoot on the rocks. You know those smooth river rocks you can buy at Home Depot? We walked around on that. What that does when that rubs on the bottom of your feet, it helps to charge you electromagnetically. It helps to build your magnetic field. Just like how you rub your foot in a sock on the floor and touch somebody and you get that static shock. That's what's happening when you walk around on natural surfaces, like grass, like dirt, like rocks, like sand. Okay?
Wow. I have another question for you. I have some slippers that are probably some kind of vinyl, rubber, plastic type thing. They're pretty tough. They have the raised bumps in the bottom, but I do know that that's to emulate the stones that we step on and the uneven surfaces that we walk on when we're outside. But I have a theory, and I want to know maybe if it's kind of true or not. I don't feel right walking in those. I do know that when you massage the bottom of the foot, it affects certain internal organs in certain parts of the body. But I believe it's something missing, because to me, I call them foot condoms. Because to me, the best way is to have your bare foot in the soil, stepping on sometimes sharp rocks and different things, and you communicate with the ground. So you get that massage going on. But like you said, that electromagnetic connection is there. Walking barefoot is far superior to walking in those slippers. That's my theory. What do you think about that?
Yes, great question. Those slippers are supposed to stimulate or add pressure points under the foot. If one studies reflexology, for every organ in the system, there's a corresponding nerve ending under your feet, in your hands, or on your face. So this is why there's a whole science between adding pressure on your hands, pressure onto your feet, and actually different places of your face and your head. So those slippers were designed, they're probably a poor version, of putting pressure on the pressure points once you step. Your body weight is going to actually activate the pressure. So you're activating your own pressure point when you walk around. Now, a lot of companies, to be cheap, they make this one size fits all kind of theory. But in reality, the shoe would need to be contoured to your foot to hit the pressure points exactly where they need to be. Now, the higher level versions of those shoes are not just physical pressure points to push against the nerve endings in the bottom of the foot, but they actually have magnets. They're more like pressure magnets. So now you're adding another element to it. Instead of just pressing on it with a rubber tip, you're actually putting a magnetic energy and pressure together on that pressure point. So those are like the high levels. Those obviously cost more money. The cheap ones are just your little stub sticking up. But what it's supposed to do is constantly stimulate in almost like a dry brushing pattern, simulate the bottom of the foot as you're walking. And what that will do is energetically vitalize you, giving more energy back up the feet, up into the body through the nerve endings that are in the foot, which are connected to all of the major organs in the system. Okay, that's what those slippers are supposed to be used for. Now, yes, they are stimulating when we were walking around barefoot, because when you were walking around barefoot on the dirt, on the beach with the sand, which is, by the way, one of the best places to walk around, because sand naturally contours to your foot, not to anybody else's foot. When you stand on the beach, or if you have sand in your backyard, some of us have created little sand pits in our backyard, or we got volleyball courts with sand in our backyard. The sand will absorb the impact and the shock to the body, okay? And it will naturally always conform to your foot. You will get a perfect shape that supports the arch, the heel, the toes, every time when you step in the sand, based on just your weight, your pressure being distributed. So that's the beauty of sand. That's why they say the best place to run is on the beach, in the sand, in the soft sand, not the tough sand that they've rolled to where you can almost put a vehicle on it. They're talking the soft sand that absorbs the shock each time. That's the best place if you are going to be doing running. Second to that is grass, a nice grassy field, because the grass is going to crumble under your feet as you run, and that's going to translate into the dirt, and so that absorbs the shocks. So hopefully that answers the questions there.
Wow. Many people who live in these artificial living conditions and environments, I like to say that because the majority of people who live in the city, I would say 100%, they're affected this way. I mean, we're packed on top of each other. We have these apartments, we have these condos. Even the homes don't have much space between them. And I do believe we need that. Well, since we're packed up together, we have conditions on a mental level that happen because we're stressed. There's too many people around us. We don't have enough land to grow our food, and we're not glad to see people because they're packed up on top of us. We're not eating the right food. We're not getting the sun. We're not in sync with the sun and the rhythms of the earth. We're up at night working, and if we fall asleep and we're supposed to be working a night shift, we take a Red Bull or some type of energy pill. We are off that way. We are really much off that way. Just tell everybody how far off that way we are living in this society, what the benefits are of going back to nature, but what can they do to counteract living in a place that is not conducive to operating at maximum health?
Great question. Oh, man. This is first, I'll start off with some of my background. You know, I grew up for 7 years in the hills of West Moorland on the island they call Jamaica, and I lived off the grid with my grandma. Soon after I got there, the electricity was cut off. So for 7 years, we had no electricity, no running water, indoor plumbing. We had drums on the side that caught rainwater, and we grew all the food on our own land. Literally moved our own animals. We're talking about washing your clothes, putting it on the line, washing it in a wash pan, sometimes by the river, hanging it up, having to go to the public community catchment tank to get water to wash clothes. So, because most of the time we kept the rainwater that we caught on the side of the house for drinking purposes and cooking. And so growing up in a natural environment where you grew pretty much everything on the land, the only thing we bought from the store were things we didn't produce, like kerosene oil for the lamp or matches or, you know, some other product that we didn't produce. But pretty much 99% of everything we used came off the land. So having grown up like that, we had the cleanest latrine in town, what we would call an outhouse. Now, a lot of people at first say outhouse. Yes, it was very clean, pristine. I used to wax and polish the floor with a wooden coconut brush. We would take ashes from the bottom of the wooden fire outside and sprinkle in there every week. So you didn't have any odor. As a matter of fact, our latrine was cleaner than all of these portalettes. I've been to huge concerts and events where they have portalettes for people to utilize. And let me tell you, the latrine we had in the hills of West Moorland was cleaner than these public portable potty houses that they travel around with. Way less germs and bacteria, and smelled a whole lot better. Didn't have the foul odor. So for most people can't visualize that you can live in a natural environment in tune with nature. We had the clock in the morning was the rooster. The cock would crow starting from 4 o'clock in the morning. I knew because I got up around 5 o'clock every morning. Okay, 4 to 5 o'clock. So we had nature's clock waking us up, not an actual clock that was invented by a man. How many of us have lived like that, where you went to bed and got up to the cock crowing in the morning, just before sunrise for about an hour? I've done that for 7 years, from 7 to 14. So having lived that life, I can share that information and do all these years since the streets of Brooklyn in 1987. I've been sharing this information because when I came to New York in 1987 to the mainland of America from the American islands, I realized people were not connected to nature. They were living exactly the environment Brother Lance just asked about. They were living in a concrete jungle. Some people had never even left New York City. They've never been to upstate New York, which is vast open lands of farmland and so forth and foliage. They've never experienced that. So I was able to see the difference, the huge difference between being in a natural environment in the hills of Westmoreland versus living in Brooklyn, New York, in a concrete jungle where there's very little trees and concrete everywhere, sidewalks. There was a massive need for the restoration of the environment. They needed to plant millions of trees everywhere, really, to start changing the energy. Why? Because trees take in the carbon monoxide that's put out by yourself as well as other animals, and they convert it into oxygen. Now, oxygen is crucial in that oxygen is the fire element. It allows things to burn inside the body and to give you energy. So without a lot of oxygen in society, your brain's not going to function right, because the brain functions on energy, on oxygen. Oxygen burns ATP in the body to give you energy, vital energy. So we need to go back. It is crucial. When I say the word need, I mean that. We need to go back to a more lush tropical environment. There are masterminds of society who has programmed us through miseducation to move into these mega cities. Why? Because it is easier to police and to control and to, if need be, exterminate people when you already have them centralized. So let me say that again. The great movement of tricking people to leave the country and move to cities has culminated into the ability for them to mass control and, if need be, mass terminate people, because you're already now centralized. What it's done in the interim is make people sick. There's just so much stress to being in a big city because you've been removed from nature. Trees, water, woods naturally remove stress. They naturally heal the body. So when you're not around a lot of trees, when you're not around natural waterways and natural water pathways, you've already put yourself in a higher disease condition. Okay? Not only the physical ability you've lost from growing your own food and reaching outside and picking fruits and vegetables, now you have to rely on a controlled food source to bring food to you, to your so-called supermarket that can easily be shut off at any time. So not only have you put yourself in a position where your food source is highly controlled and can be compromised, but you're also removing yourself from all the natural healing solutions that you need to be more holistically in tune and balanced. So it's very crucial that we start growing food wherever you are, start making trips outside of cities. If you're in a big city and you can't move permanently right now, start looking into investing, getting some land, or pool together your resources with a like-minded individual, buy a land, a retreat space that you all can utilize. Think of it like a co-op. If you can get 100 people to put just $100 together or $1,000 each, that's $100,000. Do you realize the size of land you can buy for $100,000 outside of a city? And then all 100 of you can then go and utilize it, put some cabins on it, or get some geodesic dome homes that are cheap and viable and self-sustainable with some solar panels and wind powers, and drill a couple wells. And now you all could take turns like a co-op to go out and spend your weekend retreating away from the city. That's something that's doable. Quick solution. 100 people, 1,000 apiece, $100,000. Get you 10 acres someplace. In that one way, you can now start healing the body if you're not in a position where you can move away from the city right away, because maybe that's your lifeblood. Maybe you have serious work that needs to be done in the city. No problem with that. But create an avenue where at least 3-4 times a year, every season, every 3 months, you can go for a week someplace and just totally raw connect with nature. Totally in the woods or beachside, riverside, lakeside, whatever tickles your fancy. Some people are wooded people. They want to be in the woods. Some people are beach people. They want to be by the ocean. Other people like a lake, or they like to go hiking mountains. They like big rocks and boulders. They want to go to Arizona. They love seeing exposed layers of strata of rock. That's their thing. Find your element. I mean that in more ways than one. And vibe with that element so you can heal yourself. Okay? That's a solution I would give you. But we have to get away from big cities, because most of us were started out in villages. A long time ago, people didn't have huge cities. And what they've done is removed us from the land. So now we don't have acreage, which is also a problem with holding wealth in the family. We don't have acreage anymore. Everybody has been tricked into, give up your farm, move to the city. They got a great job for you. And then when most of us got there, we found out that was a big trick. Okay? So let's start gravitating back to land. Start bringing more nature where you are. You got an apartment with a balcony. Do you realize you can grow food on a balcony? There's hanging hanging planters where you can have vertical planting for tomatoes, vegetables, fruits, flowers. Bring plants into your home. So even if you're in a condo right now in Chicago and you're listening to me, you can start bringing plants into your home. There's plants that are beneficial to the environment, like an aloe plant or lavender or certain cactus plant that actually will clean the environment inside your home. It will take out the carbon dioxide, give you more oxygen. You should have fresh plants in your home. No matter where you are, even if you're in this country, it's always beneficial to have fresh plants in the home. Now, if you have all you have is a little patio because you own a condo, yes, you can actually grow small vegetables and plants on your patio. So I don't want you to sit around waiting 5 years from now after listening to me till you buy a house in the country. No, you can start where you are today. That's one thing about Third Eye Visions Unlimited. You always start where you are today. There's no sitting around waiting for something to save me. No, you start where you are. So right now, if you're in a city, you're on the 15th floor of some condo, you can start right where you are with incorporating more holistic and natural solutions in your home. And we assist you in doing that. That's part of the services we offer at thirdeyevisionsunlimited.com. The website, once again, thirdeyevisionsunlimited.com. That's spelled with the number 3, RDEYE for I, visions with an S, unlimited.com. When you land on our page, we have a Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube channel. The icons are right there on the lower right, where you can click, follow, like, and share us on those social media outlets. And our number is 615-604-4074, where you can call and we can assist you, whether it's in consultation, booking me for an event or a presentation, or for what products you may need, or natural products and solutions that we offer.
I just dropped the website like 7 times inside so nobody would miss it on the replay. And wow, we can really go deep. And the deeper I dig, the more we go.
The rabbit hole.
You're showing me how deep the rabbit hole goes. Wow. You got me thinking. And a comment was made in the room. It said, how does a creator get the payment when we pay for land? Nobody has the right to sell land. And that's and there's some people who don't understand that. Mm-hmm. It's almost like still to get out of the system, you have to pay somebody to get the land to get out of the system. And then still, they're going to come at you with the taxes and stuff. But if you go out far enough, and I don't mean here in the United States, there's got to be places out there that nobody seems to be interested in, that are just pristine and just proper for living that life. For those of us who we're awakened now and we want something different. Mm-hmm. I feel the stress in Orlando. I didn't come to Orlando in 2001 to come back to stress. I was born and raised in New York City, so that's all I knew. I was in a stressful place, but that was a normal life for me. But when I came down to Orlando at that particular time, it wasn't as stressful, so I realized how stressed I was once I left the stress. But now it's increasing here. I'm running into people here that I haven't seen in 25 years that I didn't want to see when I was up there. And the crime, the prostitution, the jobs that pay higher, but the cost of living is higher. The stressed out people who have families that they don't have time to spend time with their families because they got to get up early, or one works the night shift, and then they meet outside of the bathroom door, one coming out, one going in. Hey, wow. I'll see you for a little while this Saturday. And it never happens. And you're living in the same house.
Yes.
This is so far off the mark. And this does something to our bodies. This does something that, to me, and maybe I'm wrong, and I'm just going to say it, and I just want you to flow with this with me. I'll take half. I'll take 25%. I'll take a smaller house. Just to have that kick it time.
Right.
Because, when I was a kid and I didn't have to worry about a mortgage or rent or certain things, and you just throw your T-shirt on, you went outside, as long as you did your studies and your chores, it was okay. I was a responsible kid now. Just wasn't super carefree. But now we say when we're a kid, when we get that car and we get our own house and we get this stuff, we'll be all right because we're kids now. It'll really be fun.
Right.
But life happens.
That's right.
The stresses that come along with it, we weren't aware about. My father always told me, you better enjoy this time now in your life because it's a whole different ballgame when you get older. He was telling me about the system. How do we, And I know you just gave a really good answer. And you said we should start from now. But for some people, it sounds good. But they'll say, well, you know what? Where do I go? What do I look for? How do I get to that point? There's an answer somewhere, but I'm in this stressful life, stressful job, stressful relationship. The walls are closing in on me. And this is more of a question for you as a counselor. Like, okay, I know I have stress around me. How do I deal with it until my answer comes that I manifest? When do I get that pit stop to have a little peace of mind in the stressful life? You're coming home to a mate that's argumentative. You're going to a job where they're backstabbing you. Your commute, they're giving you the finger. Your stomach is upset. You don't have money for the copay. How do we escape this just a little bit to plot and plan our escape?
Beautiful, beautiful question, my brother. It starts what we said earlier, we're working on self, because if you're being stressed all the time, not just because of what you're eating, because of your environment you're in. Like you said, you're being bombarded with all kinds of energy, whether you're in a relationship or not, whether you're on a job with a boss that you hate or coworkers that you can't stand, or you're part of some organization that's stressing you out about whatever they're trying to accomplish, or even you're attending a so-called church building where you're being stressed there in terms of the burdens they expect from you. So you want to clearly, in your mind's eye, visualize what you want. This is where the third eye vision is unlimited. It begins in the mental realm. Visualize, like the movie Inception, visualize what you want your life to be. Then the next step is start writing it down, putting it in a physical form, solidify it on paper somewhere, or create a vision board. These are some of the things that's helping me, so I can just share from my perspective. Others may be able to give you some other tools that's work for them. But I visualize it. I see it and see it happening in the now. Don't see it as, I want to be here in 5 years. You have to literally see yourself in the home, in the woods, with the garden, on the mountainside or by close to the beach. See yourself going outside and picking your own fruits and vegetables. See yourself, living off the land, that vision that you just beautifully, where I have less stress, see yourself less stress. Visualize that. Meditate on that. Write that down. So now you took something that was an inception in the mind and you brought it into the three-dimensional earth realm. You can put it on a vision board. You can stick it over your bed, on your refrigerator to remind you every morning. You can then start speaking out loud if you want. Make it into a positive affirmation or a chant. There's many ways of incorporating that into your daily life. Why? Because the things you focus on is what will manifest. What you focus on will appear. Because that's what you're giving energy. Remember, think of everything in terms of frequency and energy. You are actually beaming energy out of your eyes. Do you know that? Did you know that your one of the movement systems that I'm a student teacher of is called Qigong, Blue Dragon Immortal Qigong, to be precise. And I'm a student of Dr. George Xavier Love in Boca Raton, who is a licensed acupuncturist, herbal medicine man, and many more, shaman, Kemetic priest. And so I used his system back in 2008 when I had massive sciatic nerve pinch to heal my body without ever having surgery. Wow. I went on a juice feasting. I went liquids for 6 months. Everything was blended, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I reconstructed my body with the use of that type of lifestyle as well as Qigong. I was able to heal fully to now I can put my legs back over my head. I can hold my toes and put them above my head. So wow. I'm a living example of what I share. The things I'm sharing are things I've done, not theory, something I read in a book someplace. So this is how you then start taking these ideas, positive ideas, and start manifesting them in your life. When you start to manifest, program around these things, meditate on them, write them down, create a vision board, create a mantra. What you will beautifully see start happening is those like-minded individuals that you need to meet will start showing up in your life. All of a sudden, you'll be in a club somewhere in Brooklyn and you'll meet 5 other people who want to buy land in North Carolina. And you'll be like, man, just a couple months ago, I couldn't find anybody who was interested in buying land for a retreat or wanted to get out the city. All of a sudden, you'll find people, or maybe it be upstate New York in Poughkeepsie or, wherever, Albany, New York. It may not be outside your state. It may just be outside the city itself, because you don't always have to leave your state to find what they call green space. There's actually most states of the 48 states is mostly green space. If you look at a map, that's why I said they've herded everybody into these cities. And then when you're traveling from place to place by the road, you'll pass hours of nothing but open land. I've traveled from Florida to New York. I've traveled to Texas. I've traveled to Arizona by automobile, 48 hours behind the wheel. And most of everything I saw was wide open land. So that lets you know there's really no shortage of open land. What they've done is tricked everybody into moving into these densely populated, stack you on top of each other box buildings that they're calling skyscrapers. Okay. And that, like Brother Lance said earlier, creates a stressful environment because people should be spread out more evenly throughout the land. You shouldn't be herded together, above a mass number of people that can live efficiently. They've also not implemented holistic design in a lot of these subdivisions and cities. They've purposely designed cities in a way that is unhealthy. There's people that's created very beautiful cities that are holistic, that incorporates the trees in the buildings. The buildings have fruits and vegetables growing on them. They not only are more energetically balanced in terms of what they offer in nature, but guess what? They use less energy. A tree that's covered in vegetation, a building that's covered in vegetation uses less heating and less cooling. How many people are aware of that? That if you planted hemp or vegetables on the roof of every building in New York City, you'd cut the heating and cooling costs by 30%. How many people know that? So the cities are designed incorrectly. There's people who have done tremendous work, many engineers and great thinkers throughout the years that's designed the old with the new. They've taken the ancient way of living in terms of nature and the new technology and blended it together in almost kind of a Wakanda way of looking at things. One of those gentlemen's name is Jack Frisco. I don't mind giving his name. And they actually have a small model of his project down in what's called Venus, Florida. It's called the Venus Project. You can Google that and see how someone who was an engineer and a thinker and a philanthropist and a designer and a lover of environment blended the old and new so you can have buildings that's eco-friendly, use less waste, less pollution, incorporates plants. Can you imagine if every level of your house had a little garden? So wherever you are, you can pick what you need. Your kitchen had the herbs you need for kitchen. You go up on the living room, you got some fruit trees out there, and you incorporate that into your environment. We used to live like this, folks. Don't believe everyone was just in a hut. This is what they want you to believe. We had Wakandas, high technology, but in tune with nature at the same time, and we lived holistically. And in a lot of cases, that was the peak of several of these civilizations before they fell. So I want you to be aware of that. So we definitely want to open up the lines if we have people that wants to call in, or we have questions in the chat room. I definitely want to hear from you based on what I've shared, so we can address some of the issues or give you some feedback directly.
Yes.
So
the lines are open, everybody, and let me see. There was a question posed to me. Okay, and you pretty much answered part of it. And while the callers calling is 888-575-3769. The number is right there on the bottom below Lance Scurv and the social media widgets. You can call in, mute your phone, and just know that the lines are open, and we're going to be very cordial with the time and each other, and we'll have time for Brother Johnson to answer all of our questions. This one was text to me. It was about 30 minutes ago. He said, I'm a 46-year-old man. I have a hernia that's near the top of my leg and torso area. What can I do to naturally heal the hernia? Meaning no surgery. Thank you very much.
Great question. Yes, in terms of hernias, as you know, hernias are tears or pulls in the system due to either internal problems within the stomach, or it could be from exercise or some type of activity. To heal that, you definitely want to change your diet, and we have natural herbs, one called FEY, Forever Young. It heals things at the cellular level. It's for cellular rejuvenation. But we also want to detoxify the body to make sure it's alkaline, because that's going to speed up all kinds of healing. Anytime your body's alkaline, you heal better. Why? Because remember before I told you, you're a mental and a spiritual body, a metaphysical body, occupying a physical earth suit. Well, think of it this way. The energetic body or the electrical body can only occupy an alkaline earth suit, meaning think of your body as a battery. What do all batteries have in common? They have to be what? Alkaline to hold a charge. So when your body's not alkaline, the divine spiritual part that is you starts leaving, right? It starts leaving outside of your body. So that's why you want to be in an alkaline earth suit or alkaline body. All right.
Yes. Okay. We have some folks that called in. First of all, if you have your computers on in the background, it's going to make an echo. It's going to be very confusing to hear. So if you have a computer on in the background, please turn it down. It gives a lot of feedback and it compromises the clarity of the broadcast. And we have 3 callers that came in from Seattle, Washington, Las Vegas, Nevada, and someone named Simon. I'm going to ask the caller from Las Vegas, Nevada, 702. Welcome to the Lance Scurv Show. We have Jason on the line. And with Brother Jason, we just make sure that you can hear through the headphones, correct?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay. All right. So go ahead, Las Vegas, Nevada. We're going to go down the line. Everybody else mute your phone until then. And just give your comment, ask your question. Let's vibe for a while.
Yes, go ahead. So to the is a new caller answering now, or you want me to finish up the answer for the other gentleman?
Well, yeah, you can finish up the answer, but it doesn't seem like he's going to talk, so we'll
Go
just
ahead.
wait. Okay, yeah. Continue finishing up the answer.
Yeah, so to the gentleman that asked about the hernia, there's different natural ways of healing that. I just gave a couple options in terms of food and diet and cleansing the body. So we have a product called CKLS, which helps to clean the colon, the kidney, the liver, and the spleen, but also the FEY, which is Forever Young, the regeneration herbal formula. By the way, these are all natural herbs. The herbs are for the healing of the nation. It is mentioned in all indigenous cultures and all holy books. And we keep getting punished because we keep going to other people for synthetic medicine. As I say, I'm a phonetic spirit. So we commit medicine and therefore we get punishment. I hope you caught that. So we're constantly committing medicine instead of coming to nature for the building blocks, the repairing blocks for our body parts. Because the outfit you're wearing, once again, we call it an earth suit. You know, like if you go to Mars, they give you a space suit so you can live on Mars, a suit that'll help you. Well, when you came to Earth, Mother Nature sewed a specific suit for you based on your mother and father's DNA. And that's a suit you're walking around with. It's an earth suit. And if you do not replenish it with what? The things from Earth, then you are violating the contract. This is a lease agreement. You're leasing a suit while you're here. And you have to replace the body parts with natural products from nature. So if you need iron, where do you go to get the iron? Nature. If you need calcium, where do you go to get the calcium? Nature. You don't go to a laboratory scientist in a white coat with a stethoscope. They don't make calcium. They don't make iron. Iron comes from nature, calcium. So everything you need, your spare parts and your replacement parts and your service parts are here for you, okay? And if you want a more detailed consultation breakdown of everything you're dealing with, please reach out to us at thirdeyevisionsonlimited.com. That's written with the number 3RD, EYE, visions with an S, unlimited.com. Our number is 615-604-4074. And you can sign up for a holistic consultation there where we can assist you more specifically and in depth. Okay? But thank you once again for your question.
Beautiful. I just dropped the link several times into the, and you'll see it as it scrolls up because what you're seeing here is a delay, but it's going to be there. So they can click on it now. They can click on it as long as this video plays. It'll be put down in the bottom. And I've been doing that several times and whatnot. We had opened up Las Vegas, Nevada's line. I'm going to go over to Seattle, Washington. I don't know if this individual wants to speak, but your line is open, Seattle, Washington. Do you have a question or a comment for Brother Jason? Going once, going twice, going 3 times.
Sorry, I'm here.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes. You got the sale. The auction didn't end yet. But go ahead. Talk to Brother Jason.
My question was basically, and I did put it in the chat. I've been diagnosed with sarcoidosis, which is the same thing Bernie Mac has. I have been in surgery before. They cut part of my throat. They took granules out of my lungs. They took pieces of my heart. At this point, I don't want to do the prednisone, 30 milligrams. I don't there's a lot of things I don't want to do. I don't want to do the pharmaceutical medicine. I want to find something that's natural. I want to be able to take care of this situation. You know, it's very detrimental. They say I'm at a grave state. I have to have someone with me 24 hours a day. And I feel like that's, you know, part of that is being selfish to my children, you know, and my children need to be able to go on and live their own lives. But at the same time, because of my health, they have to be with me, you know, like continuously. And I won't do no in-home health care, nurse or aide, none of that, because I don't trust people like that. So I don't know. What do you think? What can I do to reverse or just to cure this situation?
Okay. Thank you for your question and for sharing. One of the first things we would probably recommend in your case, along with a consultation for greater detailed information, of course, on a private level, is a full body detox. One of the cleanse kits that we offer is the best natural all herbal cleanse kit in the market, bar none. It's been on the market for 43 years this August. New body. And so we decided when we were going to add herbal products to our ministry to search and find the best. Based on just what you've mentioned in terms of all the different surgeries, and I'm sure they had put you on some drugs before, but even during the surgery themselves, they, you know, put drugs in your body for local anesthesia and different things. You need to clean your entire system out as a starter. We can recommend other individual solutions in a personal level, in a personal consultation, because we offer 118 different herbal solutions at our website. 118 different herbal solutions. So, but as a general recommendation to you, the full body cleanse kit is where we would start. Okay, that's something you can do at home. And of course, when we do a personal consultation, we'd find out more about your home living, if you do work out the home or if you do have to go anywhere. So those are information we would request you to do privately. So, you know, you don't put all your business out here on the airwaves. Okay.
Okay.
So you can visit the
Thank
website,
you.
thirdeyvisionsunlimited.com. Under the Light Your Fire tab, all of the different consultations are there, and you can select a holistic Know Thyself consultation and book it there. And you can also purchase the full body cleanse kit at the website as well.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you for calling in.
Okay, I'm going to move on to the next caller. I don't see a number, but I see a name. Named Simon. Would you have a question or a comment for Brother Jason? Simon.
Is that me?
Yes, if you're Simon, that's you. I'm not making fun of you.
That's not actually my name, but
say it again.
But that's my dad's name. I guess it's on the account thing.
Oh, okay.
But,
sorry to blow you up.
Okay, no problem, caller. What is your name?
But what's it called? My question is like, so I don't know if I'm awake because I can hear people like in my head, like in my mind, and I can communicate with them. But then like I can't see what people see, but I can talk with people in my head.
Okay. So you're talking about when you're awake or when you're in a dream state, like what they call an astral state, astral projection. Which one?
I don't know. I'm just confused. Like I don't know if I'm awake or if I'm halfway awake or if I have some, you know, mental illness or something. Because this sounds like a troll, but like I can like hear people like in my head and like I can talk with them and they respond back and I can have conversations with people in my head.
Well,
okay.
This is what you do. You know,
no problem.
Get a few of them together and borrow some money from them and split. I'm just playing with you, brother.
No, I mean, we deal with all kinds of clients at Third Eye Visions Unlimited because we deal with the mind, the body, and the spirit. So if someone's hearing different voices in their mind or they feel they can, you know, communicate with either different realms or spiritual beings, whatever they may call it or perceive it to be, that's something we can assist you with in a consultation where we can give you certain, mental exercises to perform to verify if what you're seeing or hearing, rather in your case, you're hearing them, you're not seeing anything, is only existing within your realm or if it's existing in other realms. Okay? So at this point, how long have you been experiencing this interconnectivity in the audio realm?
Well, it's been I didn't know that I could hear people. I thought I was going crazy, but it kind of goes back like maybe 3 or 4 months. But people would ask me like my name's David, so they'll be like, David, like, are you woke? And then like I thought it was demons, because I've been in my room for too long. I thought it was demons, and I would just like I just wouldn't talk back in my head. But then like time went by and it started getting crazy. I could hear people and people were saying, dude, you're woke. And then I was just like what the, like, I couldn't believe it that I could communicate with people through my head. Like, it was like weird. Like, it was like a communication. Like, it's like whenever you think of something in your head, like they can hear it. Like someone hears it, it's weird. It's almost like everybody can hear.
Well, you said something that's key right there. You said before this started, you were spending too much time in your room. Did I hear you correctly?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Right, I was in my.
Go ahead. Finish your statement.
Right, I was in. Right, I was in my room. In my room for a long time because I had left school. And I've basically been, I thought I was going crazy. I just wouldn't leave my house.
Okay. Well, what we would recommend, and like I said, in your case, we recommend a consultation. So you'd want to visit our website because this is something that is personal, and we would want to deal with this on a personal level. So thirdeyevisionsunlimited.com. You go under the Light Your Fire tab and you sign up for a consultation, and we will address it one-on-one in a private setting. So that way we can get you some assistance. Okay?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you very much for calling in. Appreciate it. Love you.
Okay. And Sheena, I wasn't calling you that. Okay, we're going to have to ask some people here. What I'm going to do, there's no progress there. We're going to lock the conference. People come in purposely sometime.
Conference locked. To
make noise, and they get a thrill from that. They're home. I wouldn't say anything bad about this individual. He may have, we're not going to go there, But that's something that you have to deal with one-on-one.
Oh, yes. We deal with all kinds of people in Third Eye Visions Unlimited.
Right.
Remember, we deal with the metaphysical, we deal with the mental, the spiritual, the physical. So if someone has a issue, we're not going to brush anyone off because you never know.
You never know. That's
People
true.
reach out all the time in society. And if in society we keep brushing them off, you never know what that could lead to. A lot of these people that we see doing crazy things out here, a lot of times they have reached out to others. And instead of being assisted, they were ridiculed, which further fueled the anger and hatred they had towards society. And so we don't want to create ticking time bombs walking around out here. We're here to offer holistic solutions, which is what we've been doing actively on the streets of Brooklyn since 1987. Actively.
Wow.
Was doing it before that, but it went to a whole nother level when I landed in New York in 87. So I took the ministry to a whole nother level. So we've been doing this, and we can deal with all kinds of people. I don't care if you I have clients where they have things in their home that's moving around they can't explain. Wow. Okay, I'm the type, they reach out to me because they know I'm an out of the box guy. I'm on the ball, so I can address issues. A lot of things don't scare me in that sense. I remember at 4 going over to the graveyard and eating my lunch on the graves. So I'm not scared with things like that. You have to be able to deal with the light and the dark for you to be balanced. You ever seen a yin and yang symbol? Well, if you only hang out on the white side, you're not yin and yang. You have to be able to deal with the dark side and the light side to be complete, to go full circle. So we deal with people with so-called spiritual issues. They have, quote unquote, people messing with them from the other side. They have dead relatives that won't leave them alone. We deal with a holistic home cleansing natural feng shui, how to clean your homes with different elements with sage and frankincense and myrrh and all. We deal with everything from both sides. So when someone calls, I believe me, I know people where things talk to them. It's not always only in their head. So we have to ask the right questions in a proper consultation to help them ascertain what's happening. We don't ridicule them and we don't jump to conclusions. That wouldn't be scientific. We operate based on science, not based on emotions. And when we learn to do that, we'll have a much better society and we'll be able to build and get more solutions out here. I think a lot of times our emotions get in the way, and we didn't build pyramids based on emotions. Stonehenge wasn't built based on emotions. All these massive ancient structures and ancient technology was not based on emotions. We have to go back to being scientists again.
True, so true. The lines are open, and I'm going to go right back to Las Vegas, Nevada. I had blocked you off a little bit. I didn't get an answer. I thought you were just listening, and you're here. And there's some people in the chat room who wanted to call in. The lines are open. Please, upon your arrival, mute your phone. We're going to take time methodically and go down the list and talk to people. Now, see, we have some feedback again. So I'm going to have to mute the phones. I asked you to mute the phone, but you didn't do it. So I'm going to mute you until we're ready to talk. But right now, the floor belongs to Las Vegas, Nevada. Welcome to the Lance Scurv Show.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Good evening.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Hi. Lance, you are amazing, and I just want to thank you for all that you're doing for the Black community.
Thank you.
And good work. Thank you so much for everything you do from the bottom of my heart. I had a few questions for
Brother
a
Jason.
gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Bianca, and I'm calling because I was recently diagnosed with diabetes, as well as I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous.
That's okay. Just take a deep breath.
As well as an autoimmune disease. Possibly, it's not confirmed that that's what they were saying on the line test. And in addition, for my mother was also recently diagnosed with a blockage in her heart. So I was just wondering, what do I do to reverse these issues? Because I understand that, the foods that we're eating is not healthy. We need to definitely go back to nature. So what do I do?
Great question. And thank you for calling and for your bravery for sharing. Okay. We offer a myriad of solutions. We will definitely need to do a holistic consultation with yourself and your mom where we lay out an actual plan, executable plan based on your lifestyle and changes that may need to happen. And the reason why I say that is usually there's several lifestyle habits, bad habits that we need to change, or exposures that's been happening over years for you to get to the point where you have autoimmune disease, or they've given you what you don't realize is a crossroads solution. When they say you have die or beat this, I'm a phonetic spirit. So what we want you to visualize is you're going to die or beat this. Die or beat this. So they've given you a crossroads, but you took it home as if it was a death sentence. You're at a crossroads, which means you can choose to go left or right. Are you going to die or beat this? Which one are you going to do? That's a question. What's the answer?
Okay.
You're going to beat this. You understand?
Are you going to die or are you going to beat this? You're going to beat this, right?
I'm gonna beat this.
That's right. So they've given you options,
sure.
But you thought it was a death sentence. They're giving you an option. Someone's proposing something to you. Think of like contract negotiation. They say, oh, 200,000. You said, no, I have 190. You don't have to swallow their 200,000. We have to stop looking at what these people say as if they're the final say in your life. You are the final say in your life, not them. Take back your power. So we teach people how to take back their power and realize I don't have to die. I can beat this. Because it's called die or beat this. So we do a spin on the word. So why? Because words are powerful. It says in the beginning was the word, and the word was without end. So things, when you conceive of things in your mind, you're putting out that energy, that word. Now, autoimmune disease, we have natural solutions for that as well, which will clean up the body, deals with the nerves, deals with anxiety and different stresses in the body. We have a natural HERT, a heart and cholesterol formula for your mom that deals with cleaning out the plaques and things in the vein. But more importantly, we always have to address the lifestyle, the diet, the types of chemicals you're using on your body, the types of clothing you're wearing, things that you may not be aware are contributors to the so-called disease and disorders that they're quote unquote labeling now. So that's why when we say we have a holistic, and we spell that word with a W, HOLISTIC, holistic. We spell it with a W, and we always ask why, because we want to show you that you're part of the whole. So we visualize a circle when we say holistic, and visualize you already part of the circle, versus HOLE, which means to bore a hole. HOLE means to remove a circle. WHOLE means to put you back in the circle. So we want to share with you a holistic way of looking at things, that you didn't just end up where you are by just doing one or two things wrong. You probably did 10 things wrong unknowingly. Some knowingly, some unknowingly. I mean, most people know you're supposed to eat your vegetables. They always tell you your grandma said to eat your vegetables, but we don't eat vegetables. What you may not be realizing is your hair sprayer may be causing a chemical problem. Your shampoo maybe the type of tampons or pads you're using are causing a problem. And these are the things we will touch on in a private consultation, because we don't realize all the things we're doing wrong. We don't realize that we microwave at lunchtime at work in the break room, and that's causing problems. So when I say holistic, we're going to touch on all of the different things you're doing that may be contributing to the problem, and how to eliminate them from your lifestyle. It's not just a diet change. We deal in lifestyle changes. And then we use the natural herbs and the natural food to speed up the healing process. That's where the foods come in. The herbs are for the healing of the nation. Let your food be your medicine, and your medicine be your food. Okay?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that, for sure.
So that's where
I definitely want to go vegan.
Okay.
Right, and cut out the meats and stuff like that, and processed foods, and definitely no GMO, and stay away from that. I also been doing some research online for heirloom seeds and stuff like that to grow my own garden at home, because I don't trust the food that we're eating. Earlier I was listening to a podcast where, I felt kind of in my spirit, the food that we were eating was dead, and it was this confirmation that, some of the foods that you're eating, like organic foods, they're zapping it with radiation and stuff like that to kill the living germ in it. And it's we just definitely need to go back to natural, because I feel like this is definitely not the way to go at all. People are more sick than ever, and we should never be sick.
That's right. And that's why this ministry exists. That's why we've been doing this for so long and bringing these natural solutions to the people, because health is your birthright. You weren't born to die. I don't know if you've ever heard of a lady named Henrietta Lacks. Her cells are still dividing today. They've done a lot of research from her, and they even use her cells to do the Human Genome Project, where they map the human genome. So long after she checked out of her body, her cells are still dividing. That proves that your body's not designed to die. You just decide when you want to leave by violating the contract, like I mentioned earlier. There was a gentleman in China that had a documented life of 256 years. Yeah, he lived for 256. They documented it in Chinese records. At first, people were saying it's folklore, but no, they couldn't refute the records. So we think we're living long today by making it to 100. People celebrate centurions. This guy lived for 256 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So that gives you an idea. That gives you an idea of what we're quote unquote capable of. Okay.
Right.
So I want to get people to once again open up their third eye so they can see the unlimited visions of themselves, so they don't exist in somebody's box. All right. So these are the things we'll share in our consultations and in the different herbal solutions and so forth that we have. So you'd want to go to thirdeyevisionsUnlimited.com and book a consultation. And then after the consultation, you'll have all the different things that you need to change, or products that you need to purchase.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Lance, thank you also for all that you do. I can't thank you enough. You guys are incredible.
Oh, thank you.
Peace, love,
the
and much light.
Thank you.
Peace, love, and light. Thank you for calling and sharing.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Have a good night.
You too.
Okay, we got Huntsville, Texas. The line open.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Oh, we're fine. We have Brother Josh Sun here. And any comments or questions?
Yes, sir. I do have a question. First of all, I just want to let you know I love your work. I love your work. I love listening to your Keston, your wife. All
Yes.
of you are great.
Thank you so much.
The question I do have, yes, sir. The question I do have is my wife is suffering with hydronitis, and I was hoping that there was a holistic way that we could help try to eliminate it or kind of make it go away. And she's already had a drastic surgery on her right arm, and now it's coming up on our left. So I'm just trying to see if there's something I could do. I'm already growing herbs here. I feel like I've answered my call as far as that's concerned. I grow herbs. I want to be a herbalist, but right now I'm just trying to help her. So is there anything that you can maybe advise me on?
Thank you for your question. Now, you said that the name of what the quote-unquote claim she has is called hydronitis.
Yeah, hydronitis.
And what are some of the symptoms?
That grow under the, sir?
What are some of the symptoms that she's exhibiting?
I'm sorry, I'm not quite hearing what you're saying.
The symptoms. What are the things that's affecting her body? How does it show up in the form of what?
Okay, it shows up in forms of boils. It comes up under her armpit.
Gotcha. So this is linked to the lymphatic system, and it has to do with detoxification. As you know, you have lymph nodes in your body. 2 of them are under your neck by your thyroid. Above your thyroid, 2 are under your armpit, and 2 are down by your groin. So we definitely would need to cleanse her body, and we have different herbs that we would use along with a consultation for lifestyle change, because she may also need to switch out the type of antiperspirants or deodorants that she's using, along with some other perfumes or different oils and things she may be using on her body that may be toxic that she's not aware of, that's leading to this problem. So we'd get to that at the bottom of that in a consultation, and then we have lots of different natural herbal solutions that we can recommend for cleansing, rapidly cleansing the body to bring it back into a balance.
Yeah. Okay, because the deodorant we're using now is a crystal. It's in it has the no aluminum and absorbs wetness. I don't know.
That's right.
That's what we were advised on.
Yeah, so she's using what's probably called a crystal stick.
It's we have a roll on and a stick. So I believe she's using the stick right now.
Mm-hmm. I'm aware of them, and so that's a good change. But like I said, how you ended up here is probably using all the wrong things. So now you're finally making the corrections. Another thing I want to throw out there for everyone in listening land is that nature abhors a vacuum, meaning if you're doing something wrong, the solution is eventually going to be forced upon you, if not willingly. So sometimes when we run up against a wall or we run up against an avalanche and everything falls on top of us, is because we've been ignoring the calls all along. You know, are you familiar with a process they call pebble rock boulder? Pebble rock boulder theory is that in the beginning, information is sent to you in small ways to kind of nudge you back on your course. So it's like someone throwing a pebble at you or throwing a pebble at your window to make you aware of something. And then if you keep ignoring the pebbles, then nature sends a rock now. It starts throwing something bigger, hits you in the head with a brick, or it throws a brick to your window. And then if you keep ignoring that, eventually a boulder is going to run over you. So they call it pebble rock boulder theory. So a lot of times the messages have been coming all along, but we have kept on ignoring them until the boulder runs over us. So it's unfortunate, but a lot of times, people have to be pretty much in major surgery or have a near-death experience before they change their lifestyle, before they finally get the message that's been coming all along, So this is what we want to do is first pay attention to the little pebbles when they hit us. Pay attention to the whispers in your ear. Don't wait for it to become a loud noise, an alarm going off. So that's one of the things we help people do. But even if you come to us in a debilitated state, we'll do the best to help you. Once again, we can't make promises. We're not miracle workers, and we're not licensed doctors. We don't do emergency surgery. We're going to show you the natural ways that have worked, and if you implement them in your life, you should get the same results or similar results to many others that have utilized these solutions before you, okay?
Okay.
So visit the website, thirdeyevisionsunlimited.com. Definitely need to get a consultation so we can then start getting some solutions to her and any others that you know may be in need of our solutions, our services. Okay? Thank you once again for calling us.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Let me
Bye.
Okay, we have a caller from New York City. I'm going to open up your line. New York City, 347. The line is open. Speak to Brother Jason with your comment or your question.
Hello.
Hello, how are you? Welcome to the Lance Scurv Show.
I'm okay. I was calling because I had lupus since I was 17, and when I turned 21, it attacked my kidney, so I'm on dialysis. And ever since I've been on dialysis, my pressure, I've been having high blood pressure and stuff like that. And I've been on dialysis for like 14 years now. I'm 33, 21 to now.
Wow. Thank you for your call and for sharing your story. So you're on dialysis how many times a week?
3 times a week.
3 times.
Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Okay, so definitely you're going to need a full consultation for us to go over your entire history because you've been dealing with this for 14 years, you said, and you're only 33?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to make sure I was hearing properly. We have one of the few companies with a lupus buster kit. We have a kit that's just for lupus. It's featured on our website, thirdeyevisionsunlimited.com. But in your case, we'll have to approach you more delicately because you're on dialysis, which means we now have to cleanse and deal with your kidney first. We have to deal with your kidney and your liver and your spleen. So we may have to have you on our CKLS product first and then transition you onto the lupus buster kit because the idea is going to be getting your kidneys to start functioning properly so we can also help you get off dialysis. Do you know that's possible? Do you know it's possible to get off dialysis?
I didn't hear you say it again.
Do you know it's possible to get off dialysis?
If it's possible, yeah, I believe it's possible.
Okay. Well, the reason why we ask these mind-probing questions is because depending on your mentality will determine your finality. You ever heard the saying?
But I always believe that.
Go ahead.
No, but I always believed that the kidney could be reversed because I used to always listen to Dr. Sabi. But by the time I knew about Dr. Sabi, they killed him the same year.
Okay. Well, there is a...
So I was a little late.
Got you. Well, we are going to offer the solutions that we have for you to implement and get the benefit of those solutions. So just so you know, you definitely need to do a consultation with us at thirdeyevisionsunlimited.com. That's because we can only do as good a job as the information you give us. We can only make recommendations. We're not licensed doctors. We don't practice medicine. And we're not going to come to your home and do a full CAT scan and, of your body and charge you $5,000 for that. So a lot of us have already been through that process and still didn't have any healing. They just got a lot of drugs and a high bill. So based on, in the consultation, you will share the personal private information that we need to then properly advise you based on nature's law and how the body heals. Okay? So thirdeyevisionsunlimited.com. You'd want to get a consultation there. And then based on what comes out of the consultation, that will determine which particular products, I just named 2 of them, the Lupus Buster Kit, CKLS, and maybe others. But just based on what you just told me in this short period of time, that's what I would be willing to say at this point. Okay?
Right.
All right. So that's where I would say
So could I call that number that I have for you?
Yes, but you don't want to visit the website. You need to book a consultation, and then we schedule the consultation.
Okay.
So
all right, then.
if you call first, all we're going to tell you is,
morning.
you go to the website, thirdeyevisionsunlimited.com. That's spelled with the number 3, RD, E like your eye, EYE for your eye, visions with an S, unlimited.com.
I think Lance wrote it down. I don't know.
Yes, if you're in the chat room.
He wrote it down, and I screenshot it.
Yes, if you're in the chat room or you're on the YouTube channel, you can see it there.
I was in the chat room.
Yes, then you should see it, and you want to book it there. It's under the Light Your Fire tab. The reason why we have the tab set up that way. We utilize the elements. We're using, even in the website, we're teaching people, educating them on the elements. So we deal with the air, fire, earth, water. So fire is for the purification.
Yeah.
Consultations are dealing with fire because you need to go through a purification process to burn off all the unneeded and unnecessary information or practices. So that's called a fire process. It's a purification process. So that's why we put consultations and energy work like that under the fire tab. Okay, we want to help you light your fire. You know that song, Come On Baby, Light My Fire. Okay, so we want you to, when you have a high fire burning inside your body, when you're more oxygenated, your mind works faster, you can think quicker. So we put that under the fire tab.
Right.
The natural herbs, they're under the earth tab. Okay, that's the earth healing foods and so forth. They're under the nature, the earth tab. We have the mental tab, which deals with the mineral and mental, the metals, like metal deals with mental. And so the water tab deals with the communication, speaking engagement. That's the fluidity or the currency or the water symbol. Okay. So we have different, each tab deals with the currency. Like if people want to purchase a gift certificate. Another thing I want to mention before we forget, our website, we are a 501d non-for-profit. We can't take tax deductible donations, so you have to really want to give to us to donate. However, we are always looking for ways to expand this mission and take it to more people around the world. We ship products everywhere in the world. I have clients in Botswana that's bought my Fireboard Buster kit, multiple kits. So we ship everywhere in the world. We ship to the military base in Germany. We have troops that's in Germany. I've shipped products to them. I ship to London, Toronto. I ship all over the world, wherever you are and you need products. But we also need help.
I'm in New York. Hello?
Yeah, we ship to New York all the time. I have clients all over New York, from Long Island to Rochester to wherever. It doesn't mean to the Bronx to Brooklyn. I have clients all the way out in Richmond Hill, Queens.
What? That's where I'm from.
So it doesn't matter. We ship everywhere. But the reason we mention that is people can also make donations at the website. There's a donate button at the top left. And so we can help take this more to the people, do more workshops in different cities. Of course, that costs funds to book tickets and hotels and all that.
I know. Yeah.
So we one of the ways people support us is through purchasing the products. This is a fundraiser for our non-for-profit. That's what we do with the Third Eye Visions Unlimited. We use this as a front-end way of generating funds that we then use on the back end. We also offer gift certificates. So people can actually give their gift of health and save. So people can actually purchase gift certificates and give them to family members to redeem them for services.
Stop muting me. Stop muting.
You understand? So that's another way that we utilize that at the website.
Locked.
Okay.
So where are your office located?
We're online business. We're online ministry, meaning we travel and speak. We don't have a physical brick and mortar. Products are shipped out of Orlando and California. We have a warehouse in California, in Compton.
Okay.
So when products are shipped to you, they're more likely going to come from California or Florida.
When are you coming to New York?
As soon as I can get enough people to book me to come up there. People have been asking. We don't have a current event, but I am available to travel. Once we get an event put together, I will be more than happy to come do a presentation and a workshop if need be.
Okay.
And
thank you.
You're welcome.
Before
Thank
you
once
go, I don't know if it's too personal a question, but someone in the chat room wanted to know, and I guess they might be dealing with some of the same issues that you may have. And you don't have to answer it publicly, but they're in the chat room and they just said...
No.
They wanted,
you can ask.
They wanted to know if you were on steroids. That's what they wanted to know.
I am. I'm on... Right, I was on steroids since 7. I had lupus at 17, but I'm on 2.5. But I don't take it. I haven't been taking it in a long time because I don't trust it. I just don't trust these doctors.
There we go.
There's a lot of medication I'm not taking.
That's right.
That's
right. And that's why we have to cleanse all of that out of your system, because you've been exposed to some toxic stuff for at least 14 years that we're aware of. So we have a lot to cover. That's why you need a consultation right away.
And I just want to say,
14 years.
I just want to say also, we're at the grassroots with this, and you all know what I do and the energy that I put into it. It's ego free. And I just want to say, this is not the end of the show, but and I know we're over the halfway mark because I can rock with you all night, brother, and you all know I do that. But I just want to say it's really a wonderful thing that you come and sit down and vibe with us like this, man. Seriously. It's really a wonderful thing. You're really giving of your time. And a brother like you that has so much knowledge, yes, you run a business.
Yeah.
Yes, you must be maintained. But I just want to throw this out there. Even using the platform of this show, or if you're on melaninenvy.com, the discussion forum, the official one for Lance Scurv, you know, it's not too hard for those who can to get together with other people and share this video. Not for me, but to say, man, we have such a wonderful brother that we need to put our pennies together and get him up here, and we can sit down for a couple of hours, no matter where you are, no matter where you are in the world, and work that out. And of course, you know, he runs a business, so look, we got pastors out here. And I know Johnson won't go there, but you know I go there. We got preachers and pastors out here who are laying hands on people and they're believing in them, and they're not even giving them any information. Now that's a personal decision, and I'm going there. But then they will give that person tens of thousands of dollars. And all Brother Johnson is doing right now is referring you to a website of proven work and people that he has helped. He doesn't have to do this. He can just hold this information himself. And yes, there are people out there who may not have. I'm quite sure he's willing to work with people. But if people, and I'm not going to say pennies, I'm saying this for effect. If we can put our pennies together,
Right.
we give the Chinaman, you know, that fast food money, you know, half a fried chicken and pork fried rice, that's making us sick, but we won't get together and pool our resources to get a Brother Johnson to fly in. How much is a hotel, y'all? If it's 10 of y'all or 20 or 25 on your job, you say, listen, look at this videotape, look at this live stream, and look at what he's sitting here sharing. We threw all kinds of questions at him that many doctors wouldn't even know how to answer. They'll say, take this synthetic drug, take this or take that, something to hide the symptoms but never cure you. So this brother here is a wonderful brother, and we don't have too many. Yes, there are a lot of people doing wonderful work along the same lines. But he's bare right here. Yes, he's fully clothed, but he's bare in front of these all of our family here, which right now there's 100 people watching this stream, and he's answering the questions, and he didn't stutter one bit. It's because he lives this. He didn't get this out of a book, and of course, he's going to further his reach by reading and you know, speculating on things. But this is hands-on. When he talked about Brooklyn from back in the 80s, I thought back, man, what a fool I was back in the 80s. You know what I mean? I had to study just to learn how to hold a conversation, to ask questions. So he's beyond that. All I'm saying is that go to that website. Yeah. I dropped it in the chat room. I'm going to put it down below after the stream is over. And just different people, you can do it. He's here. Look how long he sat here. And the feeling of hope that you have, even if you didn't call in, to say, wow, maybe I can take control of my life. Maybe I can do something to make things better. Maybe I'm not relegated to a fast transition and not enjoying life.
That's right. And just to add to that, Brother Lance, thank you once again for your passionate sharing. I've been actually at Lance's home studio, for what? How many hours now? I got 5 hours.
Yeah, before you were here when Brother Keston was talking.
Right, I've been here for 5 hours, and I'm going to show you all. All I had was water and this tangerine right here.
That's right.
This fresh tangerine and water. And I've been at his home studio for about 5 hours. Why can I do that? Because I've cleansed and purified my mind, body, and spirit to not be a slave to food. See, it's a mental game. Slave to food. I've cleansed my body. I don't have a bunch of parasites feeding on me and telling me, hey, you need to go get me this. You ever heard somebody say, the slice of cake was calling me? Those cookies were calling my name. Have you ever heard that? That's because the parasites are putting in their order on the menu. And now you're the runner. You see, before there was Uber Eats, there was You Eats, where you ran around and got the food for the parasites. You went and fetched what they needed. I ate a beautiful tangerine, pegged and eaten. I've had 2 bottles of water in 5 hours because I've cleansed my body. Like he said, I've been living 100% plant-based lifestyle since March of 2003, 16 plus years now, and I was raw for 2.5 of that, 100% raw, no fire to the food.
Wow.
So it takes, so I put myself through the process so I can then bring that inner experience, the experience and experience to you, to share the skills with you. So you can implement them if you choose in your life, okay?
And
so
I have to add, there's several hot lights facing him, okay? It's like he's down at police headquarters with the lights over him. And he sat here just as comfortable. You know, I have another question to you, brother. And sister, you can stay on if you want. And I had to lock the conference because we had somebody trying to harass us and make noise and stuff. Hopefully they'll go away. But it's locked right now. I will open it up shortly again. But I had somebody text me, and I know them very well. They've been having a problem with their knee. And it's like they're in shape. They're middle-aged, around my age group, fit, you know, doing things, not going to the gym, but just very active. And I believe they're a vegan also, right? But there's a problem with this knee. It's always hurting. And, you know, she puts a brace on it sometime because of the pain. She doesn't take any synthetic drugs or anything like that. But the bottom line is that it's like, what could that be? Could it be some type of wear down, some type of deficiency where it shows up that way? I know it could be anything, but there's just the pain, and pain means something. Pain is your body screaming out saying, hey, there's a malfunction here. There's something wrong. Please listen to me. Correct this thing.
That's right.
Now, I know you may not know specifically what it may be causing it, but what could be done to deal with it in a general way that might take care of it if we take an educated shot in the dark?
Great question. Thank you for sharing. Dealing with joint pain, we actually have a natural formula called ART. ART is the Latin word for movement, joint circulation, or articulation. So the ART will have herbs that will naturally remove inflammation, because if their knee's in pain, they probably have some type of inflammation and swelling building up. So we need to first address the inflammation, or that mucus. You know, the number one disease is built up of mucus in the body. They may also need to do some light stretching, depending on the type of movement that they're doing or the overexertion that may have happened. They may have had a torn ligament, or they may have a bruised joint. The bone itself is rubbed up. They may not be drinking enough water. Believe it or not, water is one of the most overlooked solutions for problems. Do you realize that all
water?
of you, yes. Do you realize that between all of your bones is a disc that, when not properly inflated, does not keep the bones from touching? For example, all of your bones in your joints, knee, ankle, hip, and all the spinal bones in your spine, they have a disc that has to be properly filled to keep the bones apart. Think of it as the spacing mechanism. The discs that are filled with fluid is what determines how far apart the bones sit. If the disc is not properly filled, the bones come together too close, and then they end up rubbing it on each other, or they end up pinching a nerve. So a lot of times people with joint problems are not consuming the right amount of water. The reason why a baby straight out the womb can fall off a bed and not break into pieces, because they're almost 98% water. They've been sitting in water for 9 months. They're what they call waterlogged. As time goes on, you become less and less water till you end up where you're supposed to be, around 75% water as an adult. So you go from being, lots of water as a baby to about 75% as an adult. And so if you're not consuming enough water, then what will happen is you will end up becoming dehydrated. Your bones will start coming closer together. They'll start rubbing and eating away at the cartilage, and they'll start pinching nerves. So aside from water, touching without a very detailed breakdown of what's going on with that person's knee, that's what we would share right away. Is we have the articulation formula, the ART. We use that for joint problems, for lumbago arthritis, and so forth. Joint issues, we even use that for carpal tunnel, in conjunction with some of the other herbs to heal from those type of bone and joint problems. That's what we would share. And then, of course, we can also recommend other whole healing modalities, other metaphysical healing modalities like crystals or magnets and different things to put around the area to help speed up the healing, and different postures like yoga or qigong. Okay? So they can also get a consultation as well. We can go into a full 1 hour breakdown of a program to help them and assist them. and not just diet, but movement and other technology that can speed up healing. Hopefully that helps. Okay.
Conference unlocked.
Got the conference unlocked again. I'll say this is pretty much not a final call, but there's a lot of comments inside the chat room, and I would love for you all to call in. And we probably will be wrapping it down because Brother Johnson is a trooper. It's a trooper. And I'm so glad that, you agreed to come by. I said, man, it would be so great if you can come by. And, without fail, here you are. And again, I have to thank you for that because you could be doing so many other things right now. You could be sleeping right now. Everybody knows I'm a trooper. I'm going to hang in there, but I have to commend you for that also. So we're going to leave it open for a little while. Whoever comes in, the trolls will be knocked out. If you have any questions, and there were questions in the chat room, but if you can call in, please call in. It's a lot easier because the chat room is kind of sliding up pretty fast, and there were questions, So we'll leave it open for 2 or 3 minutes. We'll see. Give you enough time to dial in. The call-in number is 888-575-3769. That's 888-575-3769. The number's below Lance Skirvin, the social media widgets. You'll see it there in the yellow letters. It's always there. The number never changes. Call straight in. There are no codes with that. Okay. The funny thing is that lots of times folks will call in watching a video that was already completed, and you'll find 20 people in there wanting to argue about Donald Trump, Barack Obama, gay marriage, or whatever it may be, and they're all thrown in the room, and it makes for some conversations, right? And I listen to them, and I'm like, man, I need to upload this stuff. This is just classic debates.
That's right. Yeah, we're here, being a trooper. This is what we put in behind the scenes to help offer holistic solutions to uplift fallen humanity, first starting with one man or woman at a time. So, like I said, I've been doing this most of my life, but really full speed on the streets since 1987 in New York. And I just share the little I know. Keep it humble. You live off the grid for 7 years. You learn a lot of things. You meditate and tap into your internal higher self, and you can then share that with people. So health and wellness is at the forefront of everything you do. Everything you do, you will do better when you're healthier. Everything. If you're a painter, you're going to be a better painter. If you're a poet, you're going to be. The only thing you may do worse when you become healthy, I sat down and I thought about that, is sing the blues. Because you may be less blue. That's one of the few things that you'll probably do worse. If your creativity comes from a dark place, you may be less dark. So it may mess up your blues writing song skills when you become happy and you wake up feeling wonderful and you're having great bowel movements and I have joint pain and you have lots of energy.
Right.
You may not be a great blues writer after that, but most things you will do better.
Yes.
When you're healthier.
Yes.
Okay?
I had a question in the chat room. They wanted to know if you knew about sexual transmutation. And we have another caller in, and pretty much we'll take this as the last caller. But the question, do you know anything about sexual transmutation? I mean, I know the part about being sexual, but the transmutation, I don't have a clue as to what that is.
Okay, Bill, thank you for the question. I will share it based on my level of understanding. I'm trying to find out if they're speaking from it as people who are going to, let's say, gender changing, where they're taking hormonal treatments to go, let's say, from a man to a woman. If that's what they're talking about in terms of transmutation, there's chemicals out here that are in the water supply, that's in the food, that's also given by these doctors, that will help to facilitate some of that, meaning men that want to grow breasts or women that want to get rid of their breasts and go to some type of transition. Now, mentally, this is very disturbing. Some people may not like to hear that, but because we don't live in a world where we deal with science, we deal with a lot of emotions. People get caught up on the emotions rather than the science. What determines one's gender? That's probably a topic. We can do a whole nother show on that. But
exactly.
But your gender is determined whether or not you realize it when you become a zygote, or you become a fertilized egg in the uterus. Does everybody in listening land know that all births are female? Does everyone know that you start off as a female? Yes, all zygotes are female. And then based on the chemistry within the mother's body, this so-called final sex or gender is determined after the first trimester, first 3 months.
Let me just interject. They just said in this, Bakwena Media said, I mean transmutation by saving their sexual energy and transmuting it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So now that we have clarification, so you're referring to what some people will call ejaculation, or saving yourself, which may be also sexual fasting. That's another way that some people refer to it. So in terms of a man, it would be talk about ejaculation, meaning, or first, let's start off with what we call a sexual fast, or what we call abstinence, because that's where most people need to start. Right now, we're in an oversexed society, and I'm using that as the verb, not the noun. We're oversexed or overstimulated, and we've been brainwashed into believing that you have to constantly go from one partner to the other, or you have to constantly be overly stimulated with the lower chakra. So our chakra system is not balanced. We're not equally using the crown as we use the root chakra, which is your survival root chakra for sex. That then leads to, in terms of men, wasting a lot of their sperm, which is a vital fluid for your vitality. Okay? So if you're oversexed and you're ejaculating too often, that's going to deplete you of minerals, especially the vital mineral for man being zinc. Now, I don't know if a lot of people are aware of that. Each mineral has a certain gender attached. So for men, we need more zinc. For women, they need more iron. So iron is the feminine mineral, because women lose iron and they need more of it to keep their system going, even though men need iron as well. The fact that they're losing iron through their menstrual cycle every month, which iron is kept in the blood, that's the main fluid that houses the iron in the body. And so because they lose blood every month and we don't, they lose a lot of iron. Therefore, they're more anemic. Men, if you're ejaculating too much, you lose more zinc, because zinc is the number one mineral in your prostate that nourishes your sperm. Your sperm is swimming around in the ocean, which is high in zinc. So if you don't have a lot of zinc replaced in your body, you become zinc deficient. Okay? So sexual transmutation is taking the energy and redirecting it. So you will store up sexual energy from either fasting, or which we call abstinence from sexual contact, or you learn how to engage in sexual contact without ejaculating, and then transmuting that energy, visualizing what you want to see, what you want to accomplish. Eventually, you can learn to do this with a partner, and that's when they call it a tantric sex, or sexual alchemy is another term it's referred to, where both of you